70 ADF troops will leave Darwin tomorrow en route to the UK to help train Ukrainian forces. And joining us live now out of Canberra, Ukraine's ambassador to Australia, Vasyl Myroshnychenko. Vasyl, good to see you. Thank you for your time this morning. What do you make of this plan to send 70 ADF troops to the UK to help train Ukrainian forces?
The decision of the Australian government, which was made back in October, to help with the training of the Ukrainian soldiers in Britain, and now that they are being dispatched to the UK to help train them. And I think that will create many opportunities for Australian soldiers to create bonds with the Ukrainian recently recruited people, actually those volunteers who are joining Ukrainian Defense Forces. And I think that will contribute to better bilateral relations for the future. And I think that's a great thing that Australia is joining UK, Canada, and other European countries in helping train the personnel. I think at this stage, this is a great investment into increasing the Ukraine's capabilities and helping Ukraine win this war.
Do you accept the point that our forces should not step foot in Ukraine?
Yes, absolutely. There is no need for that. What is necessary is what we are asking Australia is to step up its military assistance and send more Bushmasters, consider sending tanks, sending more artillery and ammunition. As you can see, our European partners, such as Germany and France, have recently committed to light tanks, and UK has just announced the provision of Challenger 2 tanks. And Canada made an announcement that they are procuring NASAMS, which are modern air defense systems from the US. And therefore, I think that would be great if Australia could step up its military assistance. In addition to the soldiers which are being dispatched, or also send another 30 Bushmasters or some tanks and other equipment which we need.
Just on how this operation works. So basically, you've got Ukrainian recruits that are flying to UK to get their training done. Would it not be more prudent to have them train closer to Ukraine, perhaps in another allied country?
UK is very close to Ukraine. It's actually closer to Ukraine than it is from Canberra to Perth. It's only 3.5-hour flight to the UK.
Sure, yeah, but I'm thinking like a neighbouring European country or somewhere closer to Ukraine's my point.
Well, I'm sure there is some trainings which are going on in Poland and some other places, but Britain has taken a leadership on training, and I think at this stage the distance does matter.
Okay, so you just mentioned there. What else are you asking? Whether Albanese or Richard Marles, what are you asking them for? We've already committed some $655 million worth of aid. What more do you need?
The Australian government has committed 90 Bushmasters. They are great help. Some of them are still on their way to Ukraine. You've seen they've been saving lives and helping Ukraine liberate Ukrainian land. We've asked for more Bushmasters. Many of them get destroyed in the fight. They need to be repaired as well. Also, the armored personnel carriers on tracks called M113s. There are 28 of those committed. And more of those would be very helpful. We've asked Australia to also join with tanks, maybe if not with many tanks, but it would be a significant contribution to the effort which is happening at the moment. We've been asking for tanks for a while now, and the fact that now our partners are providing those will contribute to our ability to drive Russians out completely of Ukraine.
Okay, just changing topics at the moment, Vasyl, I just want to get your thoughts on that Russian flag that was removed from the Australian Open.
I welcome the decision of Tennis Australia to remove Russian flags from public display during the tournament. As you know, I made a statement to ban their participation entirely, and that was done by Wimbledon and other international tournaments hosting competitions. And President Zelensky made it very clear when he addressed the International Olympic Committee in in December, several weeks ago. It's not yet time for Russian or Belarus athletes to participate in any competitions, as we have over 200 Ukrainian athletes who got killed by the Russians during this war. Many athletes are now part of the armed forces. Russians are destroying our sport infrastructure. And for any Ukrainian athlete who is out there, and that was the case for Ukrainian tennis player on Monday when she saw the Russian flag, that's a disturbing and traumatizing experience, because Russian flag has brought only blood and torture and very gruesome scenes we see what Russians are inflicting on Ukraine.
Just finally here, what sort of an effect would it have on, say, someone like Daniil Medvedev, one of the best players in the world, who had nothing to do with the war and has nothing to do with the war? What sort of an effect would that have if he's not just playing as a neutral, but just not there entirely?
Daniil Medvedev should use his voice and his huge following to condemn the Russian war in Ukraine. And I make that call on him. He was asked this question in Adelaide when he had a press conference, and he chose to skip the question, which was asked directly by the journalist. I think that athletes and Russian athletes, if they don't support this war, they should make a statement. The problem is that many of the athletes actually do support the war, and that's a problem. And therefore, people like Medvedev should actually do so. Otherwise, look, it doesn't matter if there is a flag or there is no flag. If Medvedev is going to win the tournament, it's going to be a Russian player who won the tournament. It's not going to be Daniil Medvedev from an unknown country who won the tournament, right?
Sure. No, fair enough point. Vasyl Myroshnychenko, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon, coming to us live from Hobart there.